So, I wanted to talk about something today that has shaped a big part of my life, really. And I know a lot of people struggle with getting out of their comfort zone, and this is definitely me. So, I want to talk about public speaking because this has been a skill that has never come naturally to me. In fact, I've avoided it my entire life, just like most people. So, growing up, I was always uncomfortable speaking in front of people. Even the idea of standing in front of a small group or any sort of crowd, it didn't matter if it was at school or even in a workplace, even a casual setting. As soon as I became the center of attention, I would feel this discomfort rising, and I know I'm not alone in that, for sure. Many people feel this way. Most people. The fear of public speaking is often ranked higher than the fear of death with a lot of people, which sounds kind of funny, but when you're the one standing with all eyes on you, I think you get it. So for a long time, I just accepted this discomfort as who I am. I just, someone who avoids speaking in front of groups. And I think many of us fall into these labels. We tell ourselves we're shy or introverted, or that we're not the type of person to speak confidently in a crowd. But these labels really do hold us back. They become excuses that protect us. And I think they protect us also from the growth, any kind of growth that we can experience. And the truth is, public speaking is a skill. It's not something you're born with or without. It's something you can learn. I believe this. It's something that's learned, just like riding a bike or playing an instrument, learning a language. Just like any skill, it's uncomfortable at first and you're not good at it. But I think that if you're willing to feel the discomfort and to push through it, you start to grow in ways that you didn't expect. So this year, I decided to do that. I decided to step out of my comfort zone. Remembrance Day, I was asked to speak in front of a number of groups, and it was an incredible experience. So I was asked to speak at a couple of schools, and I was terrified, but I did it. And to be honest, it was very nerve-wracking. I'm not going to pretend that it felt comfortable at any point. I think when you're putting yourself out there, your heart races, your hands sweat, you question whether you're going to forget everything that you prepared. And I put a lot of time into preparing this. You wonder if your voice is going to shake and sound terrible. And in my case, I did put a lot of time into preparing my remarks. I needed to do this to manage the anxiety. It did help. But there's the important part is that even though the nerves didn't disappear, the experience was quite incredible. It was just something that I had to push through, right? So the fear of the speaking didn't go away, but I knew that I had to actually push through it. So I connected with the people. I delivered what I wanted to say, and for the first time in my life, truly, I felt like it was I felt what it was like to push through that barrier, realize that I couldn't do something, or that I could do something that I never thought that I could. And that didn't magically make the discomfort go away. I'll tell you that. I wish I could say that after speaking, to almost 1,000 people in one instance. Suddenly you become fearless, but that's not how it works. But what it did do was show me that I can be uncomfortable and still succeed, do what I wanted to do, still communicate something meaningful, and that shift, that understanding is powerful. So I also think that after enough repetition, something changes. after doing a few events, I sort of felt this. And if you do anything multiple times, your brain starts to adapt. The thing that, started off as being terrifying begins to feel familiar. Not easy or effortless, but manageable. And that's where confidence comes from. It doesn't come from eliminating fear altogether, but it comes from proving to yourself that you can take action even while fear is present. So one of the biggest realizations that I've had is that public speaking is becoming more important than ever when we live in a world where technology is advancing so quickly, and to the point where it's hard to understand what types of jobs AI will replace and what job functions AI will replace. But AI automation is, it's reshaping industries completely. But one of the few things that AI cannot take away is our voice, our ability to communicate, to persuade, to tell stories, to connect with people on a human level. Whether you're in a boardroom or in a community center, even a classroom for teachers, even just speaking to a small group, the ability to articulate your thoughts is a critical skill, and that will remain that way. So it's one of the few skills that will hold its value as the world becomes more and more digital and automated. So that's something I've started to think about a lot, especially as a parent. For parents out there, we need to teach our kids how to communicate confidently, because this confidence will open doors. It helps them in school, in life, in job interviews, in jobs themselves, leadership roles, everywhere. And it's not something you learn from a textbook or from an app on a phone. It's something you have to learn by doing, by being uncomfortable. And thankfully for me, it seems like it's something that can be learned later in life. So by trying, failing, trying again, slowly growing, I think I can do better at it. So I know I wanted to emphasize this today. I hope you found this helpful. Have an amazing day. We'll talk soon.